Bella Speaks, entitled The Definition of a Drunken Idiot. I begin. A drunken idiot is defined as a derogatory term describing someone who is heavily intoxicated and behaves, and I feel that obnoxious, reckless and socially unacceptable way towards others without consequential awareness or any sense. Certain quotations within the Oxford English Dictionary describe a drunken idiot as a tow rag, a tosspot, a prat, a contemptible person, a fool, a drunk, a wino, a tool, an incompetence, a drugs of society, a waste of space, recklessly socially unacceptable and on an uninhibited idiocy. Other terms to be found related to the description of a drunken idiot is a numpty, a ball bag. If you're in Scotland, and you will probably find 1,000 other terms in Scotland descriptively, a choose, a gobshite, a prat, a roaster, a glycit, a bampot, sloshed, plastered, bladdered, slushed, no. Out of your face, a drunkard, a sot, which is a traditional English term that specifically describes chronic drunkenness with foolishness or bell-wittedness. A rummy, which is an American term for a fool dependent on the drink. A groghound in Australia denotes this is a person heavily devoted to heavy drinking. Tosi, which is a Swedish term which is basically slang for an intoxicated fool. A tote de pioche in French slang translate to a pickaxe head or a blockhead, often describing the drunken fool. In Greek slang, a kaunopedi literally translates to a cauliflower, usually are used across the community to describe someone who is drunk and stupid. A booze hounds is an old-fashioned term for someone who can sniff out drink anyway, or lush as a university understood term for a heavy drinker. Topsy-turvy to sports as a British favourite, heavily known to describe your uncontrollable drunken idiot. A juice head, it's quite a modern term. A rummy describes those that have an affinity for the rum soaker sauce. A pretty old describe being someone who absorbs alcohol like a sponge. A barfly, someone that literally spends their lives propped up on a bar stool, drinking their lives away and drowning their sorrows. A dipsomaniac is the clinical medical sounding term. A mash head is probably how you're going to feel the day after a tippler. A boozer, inebriate, hooch, whatever you name it. In between one and all the same, a drunk is a drunk, an alcohol is an alcoholic, a binge drink. It is just someone on the way looking forward to the next drink and then crashing out unhindered, uncontrollably. One is one. Not one is better whether you can handle it or whether you're a bottomless sewer. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day because the drink is going good to go down the same way. If you get me, it's still going to do the same damage. At the end of the day, it's still going to shorten your life. But alcoholics don't think of this, boots at the end of the day. If you like a drink, no one can stop you. Only you can stop yourself. So, my point that I'm making, it doesn't matter what you call it. However, you may wrap it up. It's still the same shit in the process. If you are willing to down the drink, you are willing to risk fucking everything. You're willing to risk your life. You're willing to rest the roof over your head for what, a little bit of the fucking drink. For that little bit of fucking madness, that little bit of fucking laryness, boots, we must always be on guard because consequences do follow as things get out of control. No, I'm not trying to make this poor measurable, but I'm like that little annoying warning label that you get at the bottom of your cigarette box. I'm that little reminder that you enjoy to ignore the one that the government ensures that you cannot escape from. Do this, do that, we think, oh, nanny state, but at the end of the day, it's the fucking truth, and we're taking the fucking risks with ourselves. But I suppose you must always look at things with a sense of humour, because if you don't, then what's the point in, oh, never mind, I'm just going to go and get soused anyway.